All right, my beautiful friends, what a day. What a day. A lot of stuff to talk about, and we're just going to have all kinds of fun. All kinds of fun. I'm serious. I don't care that the market just sold off. As a matter of fact, I'll cover more of that in a moment. Lots of great stuff to cover in this video vlog. So yeah, this is my lovely post-market wrap-up on this Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. So, volatility off the Richter scale today. But again, let's just go back to Sunday. This last Sunday, I did my lovely Marcus a Look Ahead video. I explained to you all that I expected this week to be volatile. Let's go back to last month. Last month, I said this month was going to be volatile in the market. I mean, this market was positive, positive, then way negative. Dow fell 500 and something points. The NASDAQ was the biggest loser here. Okay, whatever. You know, look, if you understand that these things are going to happen because somebody explained to you that it would, you cannot get rattled. All right, if you're an investor in this market, if you're holding cryptos, gold, silver, trading stocks, and you let yourself get rattled, you're just going to make the situation worse. But you should anticipate these things. People, I don't pull this out of a hat when I explain these things to you ahead of time. Am I always right? No. Am I right the vast majority of the time? Absolutely. So personally, I loved this day. I added to my current positions all freaking day long, okay? On the long end of this market. Now, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff here in this video, and I hope you bear with me on it. So let's move forward just a little bit here. Cryptocurrencies got hit across the board. Silver got smashed, down over 7%. Gold got hit. Crude oil slightly to the negative. The 10-year yield didn't do too much, 0.67, and the dollar did gain a little bit of strength here. Again, you want to sit here and look at the stock market moving like this. Well, what can you gauge it by? I mean, other than, you know, it's not real, it's overvalued. But we did hear from Yellowstone today, the Fed again, and he said specifically, the Fed will do whatever it takes to support the economy. He's referring to the stock market. The economy, which is the middle class, done, decimated, finished, part of their grand finale, their grand total solution. I think you all know that. But again, when you get sell-offs like this in precious metals, a lot of people wrote to me today, Greg, are you watching silver? Greg, are you watching silver? Yeah, I'm watching it and I'm smiling like this. Look. Yeah, because it's a buying opportunity. Do you not understand that we haven't seen anything yet, and I mean anything, with regard to what central banks are going to do, with regard to inflating the debt bubble, forcing not just America, but every nation on earth into servitude, debt servitude, debt slavery. That's what this is. And part of this is propping up the stock market, making the rich richer as we move into an extreme two-tier society. Have-nots to an extreme, haves to an extreme, and have-nots to an extreme. That's how it's going. I've explained this to you for like a decade, and here it is in your face. So just get used to it. Nothing's going to save you here. You have to save yourself, meaning you have to understand the environment you're in and capitalize on it. That's all. That means betting against this debt, becoming your own central bank, holding cryptocurrencies, part of the same thing. And I don't care. Again, I don't care what they do to metals in the short run. Look, do you know that JP Morgan just got fined? I'll talk more about this in a little bit. Today, $1 billion for rigging not just the precious metals market, but rigging the treasury market. No arrests. No, not at all. $1 billion fine, no arrests. That should allow you to understand that, you see, you and me, We're dog shit. We don't matter. Banks can do whatever they want at any moment. And do you really believe that JP Morgan is going to pay that fine, or are they just going to get it from the Fed? Do you think the Fed does not understand what's going on, being that JP Morgan is one of the key banks that own the Fed and run it? You think the Fed doesn't know? You think government doesn't know? Our government is in bed with the banks, okay? You and me don't matter. Whoever sits in the top spot there, behind that Resolute desk, they are not your friend. I don't care what color skin they have, even if it's orange. I don't care anything. Doesn't matter. They're not on your side. You understand? All right, let's move forward here. A lot of stuff to talk about, so get comfortable. Let me open up a new page here. So, market started out positive on vaccine news. Oh yeah, the vaccine is going to be coming out real soon, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. And they're starting late stage trials on some guinea pigs, which just happen to be human beings volunteering for it. You got to be kidding me. No, I'm not kidding. That's actually going on. So then we did hear from the Fed. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's move forward here. I want to cover things. So here we go. Congress here wants to lean a little harder. This is the headline here. Yahoo Finance. Lean a little harder on the Federal Reserve for more stimulus, more debt. Congress, the United States Congress, is going to the Fed. This is why, you know, when our Congress people talk to Fed Chair Powell, they genuflect, they curtsy, lick his feet, whatever they got to do, because Congress goes to the Fed for everything. The Fed is running it all. The Fed runs the nation. The Fed runs the world. Central banks, all of them, that's what they do. Kings, queens, monarchs, presidents, members of Congress, they're flecks of dog shit. You understand? Flecks of it. And they're just there to make people have their faith in the wrong spot. Let's move forward here. All right, so here we go. This was an article by Wolf Street. You should have a look at this. I posted a link on all my social networks. Now, let me just read this to you. Imagine my shock. This is me. Analysis is showing that farm subsidies, taxpayer-funded welfare programs, are giving crumbs to small entities and giving the lion's share, whether they need it or not, to the large farms. And billions of dollars are going right back to China. Thank you, President Trump, for the farm bailout and making sure that we're making China great again. Can't make this stuff up. You can't do it. Even if you tried, can't happen. But, I mean, we all understand that. Gets better. You know, here's a question. Do you feel that billions of dollars in taxpayer funds should be going back to China? They're entitled to it, okay? I've heard the argument. I've even talked to people out here that are lawyers. They're entitled to the funds if they own farmland here in the United States, or if they operate a farm here in the United States. Even if they're owned by China, they're entitled to the funds. I personally don't like it, but that's tough for me, isn't it? Probably tough for you. Now here, we heard from several Fed members today. This is Loretta Mester talking more about a digital dollar, how the Federal Reserve is exploring what it can actually do if they abandon paper dollars and go to a fully digital one. Very interesting. She also went on to say that the economy is in a deep hole. Really? Duh! Can't make that stuff up if you tried to. Now here's what they're trying to do, people, and I want you to pay attention to this. They're trying to push more American citizens to get this vaccine. It's not wanted. Most American citizens do not want this warp speed vaccine. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. But they're saying that if you do choose to get a vaccine when it comes out, it's the patriotic thing to do. So what they're saying is if you choose not to get vaccinated, it's unpatriotic. I want you to understand that you are going to be shamed if you do not go ahead and get a vaccine. Now, I want to talk about this. It's very important. It plays into what I've been talking about. So the White House is unveiling a new relief bill strategy to avoid mass airline worker layoff. So a second airline bailout is coming. It's sketchy. We don't know what's involved in this yet, but the Trump administration is working on, like it says here, a new relief package for the airlines. They already got $25 billion, no strings attached, although they were supposed to not fire people. The airlines are now using a tactic against President Trump, saying, hey, if you don't do this, well, we're going to lay people off. So President Trump, instead of holding them to that bargain, is going to give them a second bailout. Now, what I don't understand, and I want you to look this up for yourself, these airlines, American Airlines alone over the last few years has bought back $12 billion worth of its own stock. Delta, $11 billion. United, $10 billion. Why is President Trump not insisting that before they get another public bailout, they liquidate those shares? Wouldn't that be the patriotic thing to do? That's my opinion. How about yours? It's so sick. Another bailout. Okay, whatever. Here we go. And this is, with regard to the second bailout, in my opinion, these corporations should have been forced to liquidate the billions in profits they receive from stock buybacks. What am I saying wrong? President Trump, can you let me know? Anyway, let's move forward here. Okay, so Bill Gates, I want to talk about Bill Gates again. All right, I know a lot of you get offended when I talk about Bill Gates, but I don't frankly give a damn. Bill Gates is calling this COVID virus a war on life. And he is insisting that as many people as he possibly can get injected with the warp speed vaccine. I want him to be injected a few times and see what happens first. Okay, so again, there's a war on life. If you choose not to get vaccinated, you're, number one, you're not patriotic. You're unpatriotic. And according to this one, you're feeding into whatever war there is on life, according to Bill Gates here. Another Fed president today talking about more fiscal support will be needed to support the recovery. What recovery? Can you explain that? Let's move forward here. U.S. business activity is slowing, yet housing prices are jumping, but there's no inflation. There was another article today talking about how 80% of American middle-class people are hurting because they're trying to make ends meet because of food inflation. But there's no inflation. So, you can't make this stuff up. Another freaking lie. Here we go. Another Fed president, Fed Rosengren, says the economy is in a more fragile state than most people believe. Translation, more debt coming. Imagine my shock. All right. Powell is urging Congress to stay with the Fed. Stay with it to bolster the recovery, calling for more debt. Nothing in this world can make the Federal Reserve happier than issuing trillions of dollars in more debt to create more debt slaves. They're buying it all, people, and we're letting it happen. We're letting it happen. The so-called patriots out here are sitting with their thumbs straight up there, you-know-what, backsides. Okay? Let's move forward here. Funding from the CARES Act. We learned about this yesterday with the Pentagon here using funds that were slated for the American people to help the pandemic here. They were using it to buy aircraft parts. Funding from the CARES Act is being allocated for military use. Let me see your shocked face. Do you see how I've been explaining to you that the American people lose? How about this one? JP Morgan is set to pay $1 billion. This is a record for spoofing the market. Now, here we go. JP Morgan gets caught rigging and spoofing the markets again. This is a repetitive pattern that doesn't stop, okay? For manipulating the trading of metals, futures, and treasury securities. And now has to pay a $1 billion fine. Where are the arrests? Any guesses? Kind of like the arrest Trump was supposed to make too, right? That didn't work out too well. Never does. The American people always lose. So let me ask you this question, and I want you to ponder it seriously. In your opinion, if a bank gets caught rigging an asset or a group of assets and then has to pay a fine, no arrests, should the investors who have been harmed via that mechanism be made whole? Because you see, we understand, all of us, that the metals market has been rigged to the highest order, specifically by J.P. Morgan. Have you been made whole by J.P. Morgan? I don't think you have. Neither have I. What a shock. So Powell again went on to say that the U.S. economy has improved. This was today. But we'll need more stimulus. He also said the Fed will do whatever it takes to help improve the economy. What he means is the market. Middle class doesn't matter. You don't matter if you're a member of the middle class. Period, the end. Now, we went on to this too. And I think this is, you can have your take on it. I'll have mine. I'm not even going to say what I think it is. So President Trump is saying again today that we're going to have a COVID vaccine ready by October. A lot of people aren't buying this. People think it's some kind of a ploy so he'll get votes. I don't know what you think. Again, I have my theory, and I will keep it to myself here. I personally don't think we're going to get a vaccine by October. I don't understand why the president is sitting here parroting that or whatever's coming out of his mouth. October, I don't know, maybe he's right. But I can promise you this, I don't give a damn. Whether we get a vaccine in October, November, December, January, February, March, whatever, it don't matter. I'm not getting any kind of a warp speed vaccine. It ain't happening. Not to me. So here we go. Federal Reserve, this is Powell again, not planning on making major changes to its mainstream lending program. But again, all the front door and back door bailouts Wall Street will ever need will be in full force. Again, the Fed is buying corporate debt. That is a backdoor bailout. There's no other way to put it other than that. Seriously, people. Anyway, let's move forward just a little bit. Look, you know what? I'm going to close out of this. I've had enough. Look, so I hope a lot of this made sense to you here, this video. This market, these incredible swings, this volatility, absolutely to be expected. I told you last month to expect it this month, and I told you Sunday to expect this week to be volatile. All right, that's the way it's going to go. I think probably now until the election, so just expect volatility. And if you're a trader, pull your profits when you can. And don't get rattled. Just don't do it. And with regard to the smash down of metals, good. Let them do it. They're going to play their game. JP Morgan will pay a fine. And we are going to play our game. I really want to know when people are going to start saying something. People are going to start yelling and screaming, I don't know, to someone, how these major banks get caught red-handed repeatedly rigging the markets and pay a fine. No arrests. Maybe we could complain to the president. What do you think he'll do? He'll laugh. He's not on your side. None of them are. Not one politician is on your side. Understand that. They work for the corporate agenda. And here we have a new world order. A new set of rules is coming down the pike, and I think it's going to take American citizens by surprise, because they have no idea what's coming. We have gone beyond socialism. Again, bailouts for farmers, for which China is benefiting. President Trump, thank you very much. We got another airline bailout. You can't make this stuff up. No strings attached. Meanwhile, they're not being told to liquidate assets that they've acquired. No, the American people have to pay for it. What is that called? Is that socialism, capitalism, fascism? What is it? But that is your president, okay? I guess he's my president too right now. But it doesn't matter. They all play the game. And they will continue to play the game, whether it's Biden, whether it's a farm animal, whether it's my dog who's sleeping over here. Actually, two of my dogs are sleeping over here. Can't make this stuff up, people. We can't do it. All right, look, I'm out of here. This guy loves you a lot. Please share the video. See you in the morning.